I'm Anna, I'm 27 years old. I'm product manager. As I told you just now, I was going to participate in a startup. We built AI system for women's health, and it's still alive. Everything is good, but I just left the team. And now I bootstrap several startups. One of them, Mark language assistant. So we also use AI assistant for as an additional feature. And first, my unit is very obvious, especially for product managers, but I see it in a lot of teams, especially in big corporations who have money or in startups who already have some revenue or can raise a lot of money. And they start to hire people before validated hypothesis that we really need this feature. So, for example, we had almost 30K burn rate for AI team. And yeah, it's not right way. So the second thing that teams do is fine-tune model, do some reinforcement learning, evaluate, fine-tune, and do it repeat, and some additional features, and close project because, yeah, as I said before, I didn't validate it. I suggest this algorithm for this. For example, you can place entry point and don't add any API and just measure how many users will tap on it. As I see in our apps and on the market, I talked with competitors, and it's around 20-25% of daily active users. So only here you can add just API of any LLMs and still don't hire any AI engineer. And your next goal is achieve good conversion from greeting of your LLM to answer of user. And here benchmark around 90%. So here's some hacks how you can do it. I usually use just a RISE framework for that, and it's easy to score alone, just if you're a founder or product manager, but try to invite some market experts that you will validate confidence. RISE, do you know what means RISE framework? How many people knows?
Better describe.
Yeah, I can describe it. It's RISE, it's reach, how many users will have some actions with your feature. S, it's impact, how you impact on this. C is confidence, and E is effort. So how many time of your engineers you need to spend on it. So for confidence, for example, I invited VP of Law because we built fintech startup, and he was our product advisor. By the way, Law became a unicorn just yesterday and raised $200 million on Series C, if I remember right. And also, I invited CEO of Top Sexton Up. We had around $2 million MRR on this woman, and Sexton is one of the most popular use cases for LLMs assistant, yeah, and that's why we can share some expertise here. Next hack is continuous storytell from your marketing. For example, in this domain of pregnancy, postpartum pregnancy, especially pregnancy trying to conceive, the most performing marketing creative is embryo compared to a fruit, on which week women have embryon. And I just use it in the first message as a greeting. So, and it converted really well. Also, try to use any suggestions. It stops like this. It's decreasing entry barrier for your users. Any questions here? No? Okay. Prompt engineering with not a silver bullet is learning number 2. As Nadia said at her report, that in some time you will need your own model. And for example, in our case, we didn't find any data set. We tried to parse Reddit, for example, but it was completely not suitable for our case, and we decided to generate this data set, and we created a Telegram bot and asked our domain experts to communicate with this bot. Imagine that they are a potential user, and our bot is like AI doula or AI mental health therapy. So, and that's the way, we generated some data sets. My last learning, don't build something OpenAI will launch in several months. For example, we spent some time to fine-tune models on these metrics, empathy, punctuality, and safety. And of course, OpenAI did it much better with launch of GPT-4 only, for example. So that's it. Here's my contact in Telegram and LinkedIn.
Do you have a method to understand which features OpenAI will launch? because you said it's bad if you do something that OpenAI will launch.
Yeah, it's always hard to predict, but for example, it could be obvious, but we will fine-tune it in empathy, for example, or that way will launch memory to save your context. But yeah, sometimes it's really hard to guess.
Okay, and also as a follow-up, because I think I wanted also to Nadia ask this, but so do you use like exclusively only OpenAI models inside, or before you switch?
Yeah, we tried different ones. We evaluated with domain experts. When in my last months in these startups, we found out that Llama could be for the best in our case because they trained on real dialogues in Facebook, or in Facebook, yes, because we built conversational like we built like something like that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for presentation. Can you give like estimate how much data do you gather through bots to fine-tune the LLM model?
We had 250 questions from users. It's around 100 installs, but we spent a lot of time on activation part and on changing strategy because of investors' insights. So it's also my learning, but it's a part of AI and topic of this presentation.
Any other questions?
Why did you think that you had to train your own AI model if OpenAI is trained on the same things that you were coding for? Why did you think you needed to use them more?
Because OpenAI and other LLMs, excepting Llama, they biased on encyclopedia-like answers. And if you build something like a real dialogue with a friend, you have to train on model. Also, existing apps, they do something like that.
So I complain a lot about people just adding slapping a chatbot on top of something else and making that be the only use case of LLMs. I'm curious what your thoughts are on how to categorize the actually useful users of LLMs. That's not chat with some other, not just talk to your data, something like that.
It's a good question. I think that if I understand it right, I think that the most useful use case is optimization some work, like it's very applicable for optimization support or B2B calls, but it's really rocket science to build good, like this B2C assistant. You need a lot of money and yeah. Teams such as Shared AI, for example, just exited to Google with some.
Can we call it a success?
It's good, yeah. It is,
I guess no, I'm just, you know, guys, we will, sorry, just a joke to the, like, Sergey thinks about something like, so maybe they figure, so they said previously that they have training in int 8. Maybe they figured out training in 3 bits or 1.58 bits.
No, I think it's 0%.
But it's not kind of, I guess, a product acquisition, you know. It's a very, very costly tech acquisition. Acquihire.
So I have a question about when do you need to fine-tune models and when do you need to prompt engineer and maybe when do you need to use tools like you showed, such as a chatbot that talks with your experts, right? Just can you give maybe some decision tree or some ideas how what's the best tool for which stage of a startup?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's too technical question, but in our case, we use fine-tuning for specific metrics to build AI system in this specific domain. So, and prompt engineering is just like instruction for your AI, and so very strange question.
I would also add that a common pitfall that at least I spent half a year in my previous company is that if you have some proxy magic, but if you don't have a testable reasoning behind it, testable like that, you can verify that if your understanding of the causation between two metrics is right, then you can waste a lot of money and time on this.
I can say that if you just use only prompt engineering, in some time what will lose context. So, yeah.
How do you measure your specific metrics? Is that a specific data set you use, or do you use a user base?
The best way to measure is still evaluation by domain experts. But if teams have money for such evaluators like Scale AI or a number of big companies who specify on this, it's of course good social tool that they have. But teams with limited budget, they usually use human evaluation now, or they ask another GPT to evaluate these data sets.
Yeah, also one more question. Vector and I just talked about different types of deployment, like API deployment, cloud deployment, and on device. Like, from your perspective, is it reasonable to think about that on the state of building a product, or is it not that important and just focus on APIs?
Sure, depends on product. If you build as Nadia some not especially for the editing, but some app with user face, you should think about it. We also had sensitive data, but to be honest, we used API.
I think it's okay if you notify the user that you will use it.
Yeah. But next step, of course, is move to device, on device. Any other questions?
So you have